WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
I can't believe I'm putting my voice to this.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Thank you for your irrelevant opinion.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
The first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say. I'm a broadcast journalist. I have a right to my opinion.
Oh, son of a...
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary.
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 AM WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you for another week of hilarity, hijinks, and who knows what else. Alongside Lucas the intern.
How you guys doing today?
Focused and dedicated as always.
I'm getting my sounders ready.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Oh,
Dude,
sweet mercy.
Please stop.
No, I'm not going to.
Yeah, don't you start. We're 25 seconds into the show, and you're already... wow. We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Ain't nobody got time for sounders, as Sweet Brown said at one point. Although we'll be talking about a different internet meme a little bit during the show. Of course, Grumpy Cap. Got to get into that a little bit from this past Monday. All right, you've gotten your one out of the way. Now, can you actually... Will you be serious?
Yes,
no.
I will be serious.
Okay, because, I mean, huge news.
Oh, but it's okay for you to do it, though. I'm just saying, you know.
I have those privileges as the host of the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
What about the intern of the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show? And
You have to earn those privileges.
I thought I did, good sir.
No, you just took them. There's a difference.
Okay, then.
Can we get into the major news of the week?
Yep.
The new television deal announced for TNA. For those of you who might have missed it and don't have the interwebs, TNA announced on Wednesday that the Impact Wrestling TV show will be moving to the Destination America network.
Owned by
Who?
Discovery Channel.
Yeah, through a multi-year deal beginning in January. Yes, it is under the umbrella of the Discovery Channel. Spike TV president Kevin Kay issuing a statement regarding the end of their TV deal with TNA. Quote, "Our partnership with TNA Wrestling will officially come to an end with our last telecast on December 24. Dixie
Christmas
Carter.
Eve.
Yes. That's good of you to note that date. Dixie Carter and her team have been incredible partners to work with over the last 9 years, delivering high-action entertainment and strong ratings. As Spike continues to evolve into a network reaching a broader audience, we continue to look across our schedule to find opportunities to add original scripted and non-scripted programming that appeals to a wider demographic. On behalf of everyone at Spike, we would like to wish Dixie and TNA all the best and continued success."
So is that like...
I guess Vince trademarked in their future endeavors. I don't know. But that's pretty much what that was, as close to a future endeavoring as could be said there. But
True.
I just find it funny that Spike TV is trying to broaden their horizon when they changed their format forever ago, back when you were a wee lad from the old Nashville network, for those who remember that, TNN back in the day.
Yeah.
But they initially tried to be a network for men, and now here they are trying to broaden their audience. So I guess they've realized that dudes aren't sitting down and watching TV nearly as much as they used to, or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember they used to have those show called Mansers.
Oh, yeah, very good. I remember seeing that.
It was a very bro-fueled channel. Like, I watched 1,000 Ways to Die, which I think about it now should have been called Natural Selection. I swear to God, because when you look on 1,000 Ways to Die...
They couldn't call it the Darwin Awards? Is that...
Really, it was the fact that it wasn't somebody that, like, you know, like a school teacher that, well, maybe it was, but it wasn't like an award-winning scientist. It was some person that was either stupid, selfish, or just a bad person in general. It should have been called Natural Selection. Probably would have gotten a lot more ratings. Seriously. Or people doing something stupid,
Well, people doing something stupid always seems to garner ratings on television.
True.
Or garner views on TV or whatever.
The YouTubes.
The YouTubes, exactly.
The internets, those newfangled websites you kids go on these days.
Yeah, don't even get me started with you kids and your technology and
back
whatnot.
when I was a kid, we had to wait.
You still are.
We had to wait 90 minutes for dial-up connection.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh, yeah.
It was, 90 seconds maybe. But
I see myself being the guy on the porch because I look at shows on Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, and I'm like, back in my day, we used to have shows like the good episodes of SpongeBob and Ren and Stimpy, Cat Dog, Cow and Chicken. You guys remember those episodes? Those shows? Those were actually good shows. I get that sort of resentment.
Way to make me date myself with things like you can't do that on television, Finders Keepers, and Double Dare. So
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Pinwheel. Yeah, no, okay, you're getting a little closer to my era with the Legends. You and your tangents. Let's get back to let's get back on topic here. My goodness, Survivor Series is tomorrow. The Thanksgiving tradition, as it were. Yeah, that's right. A stellar lineup, to say the least, of all whopping 5 matches. But they're not all elimination matches like back in the day. Here you go. You're talking about, back in my day. When the pay-per-view initially debuted back in 1987, did you know that it aired Thanksgiving night?
Oh yeah, I think you do. I do remember. Was that when when they sort of pushed Starrcade out of the?
Oh, very good. Yes, and they initially ran Survivor Series head-to-head with the NWA's Starrcade pay-per-view, which had been going on since '83 at that point. And Vince McMahon, in a fairly ruthless tactic, kind of strong-armed cable companies and said, if you don't run Survivor Series, then we'll lock you out of running WrestleMania 4 next year. Jeez. And all other subsequent WWF pay-per-views. So most cable companies acquiesced, and given the choice between the two, they offered Survivor Series 87 instead of Starrcade 87. And in every year following that, the NWA and WCW moved Starrcade to the month of December. So they didn't run head-to-head with Vince and the WWF.
Yeah.
But yes, for the first 4 years, it was on Thanksgiving night. So I guess during the day you had your Detroit football game and your Dallas football game, and then at night you had the Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And then I guess after 1990, they decided, we're not doing so well with Thanksgiving night. Not enough people are tuning in.
What year did they bring in the Gooker again?
That was 1990. So I think, a lot of people might have been turned off by the gobbledygooker, and they decided to switch nights to Thanksgiving Eve. So they did that from 91 to 94, and then they realized, that's kind of the A, travel day, and B, party night for the kids or college kids and whatnot. So that's kind of out.
So you're saying college kids showed up to Thanksgiving dinner hungover?
I can't say that I've done that, but I'm sure that that's a possibility for some. And then it's just become a random Sunday in November ever since 1995.
Wow.
Yeah, there's definitely some history to Survivor Series. In fact, that 95 Survivor Series is the very first time that a WWF wrestler went through the Spanish announcer's table.
What year? 95?
95.
Wow.
It was during the WWF title match between figured I'd throw it out there as a trivia for you. Diesel and Bret Hart. Bret Hart was the one who went through the table. Once again, Bret Hart getting screwed at Survivor Series.
I thought it was appropriate, okay? I'm sorry.
You're going to lose your phone privileges.
No, that was actually a good one to sneak in there. Plus, as a game show nerd, I would have thought you would have appreciated it.
Slightly. Only slightly. All right, later this hour, we'll have our predictions certain to go wrong for the Survivor Series pay-per-view. And let's talk about from last week. First of all, thanks once again to George's Cards and Collectibles
thank you
for
so much.
Having us out there at Signamania. After we were on the air, we got the chance to meander around a little bit. You got to live your dream, and you got to meet and interact with your idols, the Hardy Boys.
That was amazing. Really was. We got to see him at House of Hardcore too, and that was.
We're going to talk about that.
That was an experience in itself.
Yeah, for those who may have missed it or didn't order it on, apparently iPay-per-view was a way to get it. I'm hoping they release it on a DVD or something like that. I guess they could with all the camera.
Oh yeah, they had it on I think they had it on Blu-ray at the ECW Arena. They were selling it.
They're selling some of the old episodes.
Like the first, what was this? House of Hardcore 7. They had the first 6.
Okay. Huh. I could have bought 2. The one that I was at.
Yeah.
Year and a half ago. Anyway, for those who missed it, I mean, they had a lineup, a huge stacked lineup, but unfortunately, due to sicknesses and injuries, Ethan Carter III, which we'll talk about later, he was unable to be there. Davey Richards was unable to be there, but surprises, to say the least, were in store. Stevie Richards, he was on the card. He he pinned Danny Doring in kind of an ECW rematch. Got the chance to see Stevie earlier in the day at Signamania. That was fun.
Yeah.
Christian York pinning Brian Myers, formerly known as Kurt Hawkins in WWE.
Where, you want to tell him what happened after that match?
Refresh my memory. I know I had a couple of beverages.
So, let's do this.
Keep this clean for the air.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know. So, Kurt Hawkins got in the ring. He's like, "This is bullcrap. I wasn't really pinned. That was a 2 count. I demand a rematch or somebody come out here and fight."
Oh, it's a credible competitor.
Ricardo Rodriguez walks down the aisle, and everybody in the audience lost their crap.
They did lose their minds because he then, well, to avoid any type of legal injunction, he announced Alberto Del and then let the crowd say Rio.
Yeah, he said, it's been a while since I've done this, so no, Alberto. And they hold up the mic.
And then, lets the crowd.
And they had a chorus of Screw McMahon chants.
Yeah, there were a lot. He came out, he had a bit of a chat on the microphone, and then he proceeded to knock Brian Myers out of the ring.
He put him in the cross arm breaker, and he immediately...
Yeah, sent him packing, yeah. But I think, well, the big news of it is, first of all, Del Rio now being allowed to compete in the United States, and secondly, the warm reaction that he got.
Oh, it was because it was a very unjust way he got fired. It really was.
Do you think it was, do you think that's pretty much what it is the we support you for getting screwed out by McMahon as opposed to we like your wrestling character?
Well, he's a great wrestler and he has experience in MMA and stuff. I think it was the fact that his character was getting stale, but the fact that I feel it's with anything. If you've been away for a while and we haven't seen you, you come back on TV, we're like, oh, we love you again, that sort of thing.
Somebody getting stale on TV? No.
I know, right?
Oh, goodness. There was a 6-man tag match, including a surprise, unadvertised appearance by Little Guido.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the matches.
Team Tremendous and Little Guido beating Vic Delicious, Anthony Green, and Ben Ortiz.
That was a great match, especially because the ref was doing moves. He did a moonsault off the top.
That's right. The referee did a moonsault.
The referee was doing taking bumps and stuff. And he was pulling off moves. It was great.
It was unorthodox, to say the least. The crowd liked it.
Yeah, and it was
well, the crowd liked all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Edwards beating Eddie Kingston by submission.
That match ran a little too long.
It was. Tony Nese beating Alex Reynolds and Lance Anoa'i in a 3-way dance. Of course, because it's the ECW Arena, it had to be a 3-way dance.
Yeah.
Elimination style, as opposed to the triple threat that WWE has. I don't know. That always bugged me.
ECW.
How did I know that was coming at some point? So another kind of unannounced surprise, the Dudleys.
Yeah, that was awesome. When they came out, because it was David Hart Smith, who is now known as...
Harry Smith. He paired with Lance Archer as the Killer Elite Squad.
And they said, we're the baddest tag team. Ring of Honor can't handle us. TNA can't handle us. WWE can't handle us. And then the crowd went crazy. They didn't have any music, but they showed on the little... the Minitron, and the Dudleys walked out, and they lost it.
The crowd went
again
mental.
Lost. And they went in and they said, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. The funny thing was, they started chanting, get the tables, but then the crowd chanted, we want fire. And then Bubba Ray went, look, here's basically what they want us to do is to douse you in lighter fluid and then light you on fire. You know what the messed up part about it is? This is Philadelphia, and they mean it. Then the crowd went even more crazy.
Did you attempt to throw a little bit of a New York, Long Island type
a little bit of
in there? Okay.
That's the way he sounds. I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry actually. But and it really was that was another blast from the past. I really want to talk about the classic hardcore match that happened.
Well, we're getting there.
Okay,
I'm going in match order here. It's why I have notes.
Okay.
Yeah, the things that you usually never mind. Austin Aries pinning Drew Galloway, formerly known as Drew McIntyre. Got the chance to meet him earlier in the day, and he was super cool.
Oh yeah.
Now again, Ethan Carter III was supposed to face Tommy Dreamer in an extreme, an old school ECW extreme style weapons match, but with Ethan Carter's injury, it was kind of an opening, and all of a sudden, much to everybody's surprise, out walked TNA World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Roode.
Yeah, that was
And they certainly lived up to expectations. Roode even putting the TNA title on the line. And this was before the announcement of the TV deal, so there was a lot of speculation. Well, is TNA going under?
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny?
Wouldn't it be funny if Tommy Dreamer won the TNA title in his own promotion?
We were joking around, wouldn't it be funny if he booked himself to win?
But throughout the match, C.W. Anderson came out at one point to help Roode, and then to balance it out for Tommy Dreamer. Enter Sandman played, and the crowd went nuts again.
I literally was screaming. I jumped on front, just like, oh my god, I can't believe.
You wanted to see the Sandman at Wrestling with Disaster, and he, for whatever reason, he was unable to appear, even though it was advertised. So this was kind of your make good in a sense.
And then who came out? Who attacked Tommy Dreamer That was the reason Sandman came out. He was
that was C.W. Anderson.
C.W. Anderson. All right.
But then he ended up taking care of
Sandman. He super kicked Sandman, and then you heard
Highway to Hell played, and out comes, and I knew instantly. As soon as I heard that first guitar lick, I'm like, no, they did not bring Spike to. And all of a sudden, out he walks, tie dye. No hair at this point, but
he had a overall shirt.
Yeah, the usual Dudley overalls from back in the
and he Bobby Roode was in the corner, and as he was doing the finisher to Anderson, he basically walked up and kicked Bobby Roode because he was
as he was delivering his old ECW finisher that they had to rename when he went to WWE. It was in WWE. It was called the Dudley Dog, but it was better known to ECW fans as the Acid Drop.
Nice.
Do I have to explain that?
No, I know why they
little Spike Dudley, LS. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Little subtle hints thrown out there. And then, of course, the main event, which was it lived up to all the hype and then some. The Young Bucks and the Hardys.
Yeah, that was an amazing match.
It was.
There was
I was
so
debating
much hate towards the Hardys, too.
I was debating, but I didn't want to do it just because I would probably get letters. But having the Young Bucks entrance theme playing in the background as we would discuss this match.
Oh yeah.
But no, for those who have not seen a Young Bucks match, they come out to Hanson's Bop, if you remember that.
And that was the only
teeny bopper hit from I want to say 97.
And the funny thing was that's probably the only time you'll ever hear in the ECW Arena ending a show with Bop in the background.
Yeah, but it was a tremendous match. I'm sure they're going to have the DVD and replay up. I think you can check out a replay of the iPay-per-view at rfvideonow.com.
It was
I think RF Video.
That was a really good match too, and the fact that people were really hating on the Hardys when the.
I don't know if it was that they were hating on the Hardys so much as they just had more love for the Young Bucks. It was a very mixed reaction for the Hardys, but I'd say 65% of the crowd was all about Young Bucks.
Oh yeah, and I'm not I was amazed at the match, and they.
If you didn't know who they were before, they
tore the house down. They really.
So that was a lot of fun. All right, we are late for an ad break. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of that. We'll come back. Something that I threw out on Facebook earlier this week on the WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page. Of course, Survivor Series is tomorrow, and we've been talking a little bit of Survivor Series history. And I know in the past I've done, what's your favorite Survivor Series moment or match, but I wanted to go in a different route. What's your favorite Survivor Series team, like your Survivor Series elimination team? Not one that you would construct yourself, but one that was on pay-per-view and presented. And I threw out there, I know I'm like the only person, but again, I was 12 at the time, and this is when I was just all in on everything wrestling and just like a huge fan as opposed to the broadcast journalist and fan that I am now. But the All-Americans from the 93 Survivor Series, Lex Luger, The Undertaker, and the Steiner Brothers.
I actually have a legitimate, not from what I commented, I actually do have a legitimate favorite Survivor Series. Not just the team, but the matchup between both of them. It was the Invasion Survivor Series. It was
2001, okay.
WWE, because it really was a great match. Like, they pulled out all the stops for it. And Austin had legitimate heat when he was heel.
This is true also. All right. And actually, again, thanks to the instantaneous involvement that is Facebook and the internet, we just got a message from Extreme Kyle saying, rumor of ECW originals at Royal Rumble, get hyped. Because we were talking ECW and House of Hardcore and whatnot.
And that was something I was really... That's just something I wanted to get into. I really want to see, like, I don't know, wouldn't it be awesome if, like, Stevie Richards or Meanie came out?
Well, let's not put the cart before the horse.
I mean,
we're the day before Survivor Series here, and I know Kyle's already getting ready to hitchhike down that road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. We got a couple of pay-per-views to go on it. All right, we'll come back. We'll give our predictions starting to go wrong for Survivor Series. We'll go over some of your favorite Survivor Series teams. We've got some news and notes, birthdays, today in wrestling history. A lot still to do. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 AM WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. I don't know. I still have my DDP yoga.
We have Nick.
Bang. Oh, Eugene. Nick Dinsmore just walking by here. I just got... Can I repeat that? Yeah, well, he's referring to the DDP bang, but apparently I just got banged by Eugene.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Fearon Derry.
He banged us all simultaneously.
We're going to get letters. Well, fortunately, we didn't get any as far as I know, but that was a hysterical moment from Signamania last week. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas the intern.
Yep.
Having fun talking all kinds of stuff wrestling. Of course, the TNA television deal that was announced, as well as, we went over House of Hardcore. We're going to talk about Survivor Series coming up. And we'll get to the phones in just a sec, as I know we've got a couple of people hanging on, just called during the break. We mentioned Ethan Carter III being out with an injury. That is true. He will be out with an injury that will require surgery, but TNA hasn't made any official details available regarding it. He, of course, missed last Saturday's House of Hardcore event in Philadelphia and was replaced by Bobby Roode. Now, I don't know if you were, I was going to say, you were fairly young when this guy was around, but a former WWE wrestler's retirement match is going to be tonight.
Really?
Former WWE wrestler Barry Bull Buchanan.
I've heard of.
You've heard of Bull Buchanan?
Yeah.
I think he was. Wasn't he alongside Cena pretty early on with like the whole rapping?
I'm not.
He was. I think he was Cena's accomplice or something. I mean, that would have been like 2003, 2004. I don't know. I was working on getting my broadcasting degree then.
Yeah.
I kind of checked out a little bit. Anyway, he'll be wrestling his retirement match tonight for charity in Bowdoin, Georgia. And he's now working as a deputy in the Carroll County, Georgia Sheriff's Office, living his second dream. It's a shame that it wasn't Cobb County, Georgia, because, well, okay, the big boss man joke's pretty much lost there. It's just over Lucas's head, apparently.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Good times, good times. All right, we'll get into some more news and notes coming up. Let's go ahead and get to the phones. We've got, from a look at the local scene, let's take a look over to Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Happy Thanksgiving, Ron.
Happy early Thanksgiving, yes.
Early
This
Thanksgiving.
coming
It's glad to
Thursday.
it's glad to see people aren't saying Merry Christmas, saying Happy Thanksgiving. Thank God.
No, but not to. It's not my style to rip, but I do know that they're. Well, I think I actually put it up on Facebook that as of this past Thursday, another station down the dial on the other side has already changed over to the all Christmas format. Not mentioning any names, of course.
I think they're doing it too early.
Yeah, if they waited another week, wait till like Black Friday, I'm grand with it.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I'm fine with it. And like the
They
fact.
get earlier every year, it seems like. Hey.
Oh, I know. The turkeys are going to revolt soon.
Oh yeah.
Shakira is coming to South Philly December 6th. Tickets
That's
on
a couple
sale
weeks from now. Yeah, Chikara.
Chikara.
Yeah, potato, yeah.
I don't know how they actually say it.
I want to say it's Chikara. From what I remember, I know this is going back a long while ago, but I actually had the person who had run Chikara at the time on the program as part of the Voldemort of remotes. That was back, I think, in that hour, Mike Quackenbush, Sarah Del Rey, and Claudio Castagnoli, before he became Cesaro, were three of the names that were there in the Voldemort of remotes. We'll just leave it at that. Long-time listeners know where I'm going with that, and I'd really rather not get into the story.
It's coming to Philadelphia.
Oh, nice. It's coming back to its roots.
January 24th.
Where's it going to be at?
Oh gosh, the night before the Rumble, they're going to have that.
Is
that?
Not South Philly.
I was going to say, is that at the ECW Arena or the Armory? Okay.
Armory.
Good. That's a lot shorter drive for me. It's just down the road for me. Driving all the way to South Philly, that's like a 45-minute plus commitment, and then another hour and a half to park.
Sling Championship Wrestling tonight in Gloucester City, New Jersey.
Okay, a bit of a hike for the listeners, but...
Breaker Moraine, Big Money, Patch, and the Patriot.
Oh, the Patriot's always a good time. I've met and introduced him on a few shows.
And two of my closest friends are on it, Raven Hart and Harry Sanchez.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've worked a couple of shows with Harry Sanchez. He's a really cool guy too.
Oh yeah, Harry
He
Sanchez.
used to be a ref, I think.
Yes. I think he's done some stuff with Triple WA in the past.
He was a ref at Wrestling with Disaster. He was one of the refs.
He was one of the refs at Wrestling with Disaster. Yeah, so we've crossed paths. He's good peoples.
Russell Bolt tonight in Broadway, Jerry Lynn, RCP, and Mick Foley.
Jerry Lynn.
Yes, Jerry Lynn. Mick Foley and the ICP. Oh, yeah. No, I would imagine at this point that Mick Foley is not getting in the ring. Holy smokes. He's hurting a little bit, to say the least.
And who do you think is going to win between AJ and RVD? They signed that for the next show in Broadway.
AJ Styles and Rob Van Dam?
Yeah.
That should be a good
I think the fans are going to be the winners on that one. I mean, they'll have more time than they had on TNA television, so that's certainly a benefit right there.
They'll tear down the house.
Yeah, most definitely. All right.
Most likely that's the main event, I think.
I would imagine so. I don't know what else they'd be able to bring in to top it. Anyway, thanks so much for the call, Ed. Greatly appreciate the look at the local scene as always. Hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving, and hopefully you all do out there. All right, a couple of other tidbits to talk about. We'll get back to we'll get to Ron in a second here. Did you hear John Cena featured in a shoe commercial campaign?
Really?
Yeah, athletic shoe retailer Foot Locker is unveiling 4 new humorous commercials in support of the brand's 3rd annual Week of Greatness. There's a Harry Bartnett joke to be made there somewhere.
Please don't.
The 30-second commercials star boxing legend Manny Pacquiao, WWE superstar John Cena, and NBA stars James Harden, Tim Duncan, and Derrick Rose. The Week of Greatness event kicks off today. To give you an idea, in one of the commercials, Manny Pacquiao gives a challenge that a lot of boxing fans have been looking forward to and have not seen.
Mayweather?
He kind of, he doesn't directly call him out, but he basically, kind of issues a joking challenge to Floyd Mayweather.
Because Mayweather's too much of a wuss. Mayweather.
The thoughts and opinions are expressed by Lucas the intern to Sangro and in no way reflect any.
I'm going to get a little bit, I know, get off topic? No. But, like, he wouldn't face Pacquiao because he wanted Pacquiao to take a drug test, and Pacquiao said, no, that's ridiculous because he's not. Basically, Mayweather doesn't want to face Pacquiao. That's the real bottom line of it.
Gotcha. But Cena in the commercial suspends, basically makes jokes about suspending disbelief, as you have to do a lot of that in professional wrestling. And the NBA stars do NBA star things. I don't know. I'm not really.
Harden was in last year's Week of Greatness, I think.
It's entirely possible. Dan from Chicago chiming in on the Facebook fan page, saw the Cena commercial, funny stuff.
Not really what you'd hear from somebody from Chicago.
Don't you start. I said that earlier already.
Will you be serious?
And also WWE partnering with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Home Entertainment and WWE have announced a multi-year partnership for the home video distribution of WWE programming, I guess stuff that's not going to be on the network, that will start January 1st, 2015. The companies have recently worked together on 2 animated series tied to the Scooby-Doo and Flintstones franchises. We talked a little bit about that last week. But the involvement of Warner Brothers has me intrigued. I'd love to see some other crossovers, like 3MB against the Animaniacs. Wacko, Yakko, and Doc. Huh?
Oh, God.
Or Dot.
Looney Tunes, just like, I don't know.
And I'm dating myself with the Animaniacs.
No, I know
Yakko,
the Animaniacs.
Wacko,
I'd love to see the, I'd really love to see the Looney Tunes or somebody, though.
Of course. Bugs Bunny versus Adam Rose's Bunny. Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't call
The
myself
bunny
much
brawl
of a
for
lemon.
it all.
Yeah. I wouldn't call myself much of a lemon, Jack, but, I'm not really much of a rose, but that's a bad Bugs Bunny.
When did Bugs Bunny sound like Peter Griffin?
That's all my what are you doing? Say it all comes back to Peter Griffin for some reason.
Glad to know that Warner won't be looking to you to, nobody can replace Mel Blanc, but I don't think you'll be taking over anytime soon. I don't know. I'd love to see Miz and Mizdow against Pinky and the Brain, but that's just...
that would be pretty good.
That would be funny, see?
That would be very good.
Oh, goodness. All right, let's go ahead and get Ron on the line before we take care of our second bit of business. Ron, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
How you doing, guys?
What's going on, Ron?
I had to call this week because, it's tomorrow's Survivor Series, and I want to comment on about it. There's a lot of stake tomorrow. John Cena's team, if they lose their jobs, and which I don't think is going to ever happen. And Triple H, if their team loses, he loses his. Technically, they lose their job too. But whose team is going to lose their job? That's the question. John Cena, if their team loses, you've got all those number one contenders. I would say, considering, I don't know, that could go for a championship match and they lose their job. This is shaping out to be something like career versus career type thing. And Triple H, myself, watching him last night, saying to myself, why didn't he enter himself into the match himself? There was instead of one of the guys, or another guy to the stipulations for John Cena's team. I don't know. It's my opinion.
Well, I was going to say, we still have our predictions certain to go wrong coming up. There is a lot at stake. If Team Authority loses, Triple H and Stephanie will be ousted from power, and then that kind of leads you to wonder, well, who will be left in charge. Will Vince McMahon come back? Will it be somebody from the outside? A lot of rumors have been thrown around. I don't know. Rumors and wrestling go together like peanut butter and jelly, so I try not to make too much of. That's why I'm not getting hyped as Extreme Kyle is down in South Philly about the possibility of ECW originals in the Royal Rumble, for example.
Yeah, well, my friend this week, we were discussing it. We were just saying, with Triple H and Stephanie, if they lose, they were thinking Mick Foley would come back and then they'll fold and maybe take over. But then, and then Vicky Guerrero maybe come back. Oh, gee, I mean, there's so much at stake tomorrow night. And John Cena, I can't see John Cena having all those people lose their jobs because of John Cena. And then they would all blame John Cena for losing, I mean, as far as Triple H is concerned, I mean, all he could do is say, "You're all of them, his guys, you're fired," like McMahon, and McMahon would bring them back. He'd come back and say, I'm not going to have my main talent going from WWE. Who's left is to be the number one contenders for the inner. I mean, if they lose, I don't know. Too much going on tomorrow night. It's the first time I've ever been watching a Survivor. I have to say, a Survivor Series has got so much at stake than it did in all the years. I'd say my favorite Survivor Series team was when Hulk Hogan had he had Randy Macho Man Savage and had Don Morocco, and that was my best team. And this is even going to outdo them.
Okay, I'm going to give you a second to take a breath there. My goodness, that's a lot to soak in. All right, well, yes, the Mega Powers team from 1988, I believe that was the Survivor Series team. Yeah, that was certainly a classic team. It was Hogan, Savage, Morocco. I'm trying to remember who the other two were.
It was, I think it was Bam Bam Bigelow, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Bigelow was part of the 87 team.
Oh, okay. I just remember him. I just sort of remember. But this is all going to happen. I mean, who do you want to win? In your opinion, you, Lucas, who you guys you see want to win this?
Well, we'll give you all the predictions starting to go wrong on the other side of our last time out. But here we go. That team you're talking about, actually, no, Don Morocco was also, I think you're mixing 87 and 88. The 88 team that you're with the Mega Powers was Hogan, Randy Savage, Hercules, Coco Beware, and Hillbilly Jim.
Well, there was a team with Morocco, though, because he was called The Rock, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, if he teamed with Hogan, I think that would have been in 87, possibly. I know that was so long ago that, as I'm quickly trying to look it up here, let's see. Don Morocco was he was part of Hogan's team in 87. It was Hogan, Paul Orndorff, Don Morocco, Ken Patera, and Bam Bam Bigelow. Maybe that's the team you're thinking.
I sort of remember Andre the Giant being on the other team, and he had King Kong Bundy.
Yep, that was the very first one in 1987. Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, One Man Gang, The Natural Butch Reed, and Ravishing Rick Rude.
I mean, it's going to be good. I mean, I was hoping Sheamus would have been a part of it, but with his injury, he's not going to be a part of it. Then I would have thought that they would have brought back, what's his name? From the Wyatt, not the Wyatt. I mean, from the not the Ambrose, the other guy. I can't think of his name now.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns for the team instead of the guy from the ex-guy from the Wyatt. I mean, I was shocked when he came out. It was like, oh my, two Wyatt brothers are going to go at each other, and then they had a good stare down last night at each other. Who knows what they were thinking? I wonder what the head of Wyatt family thought of that whole thing. And it's going to be good.
I don't know.
My opinion, I don't know who I'd want to win at this point.
It'll It'll certainly be interesting. Thanks so much for the call. Yeah, that is a fun dynamic that we haven't really had the chance to talk about. That the Wyatt family explodes here at Survivor Series 14. Okay, maybe not. Yes, I was waiting on that. Just trying to have fun.
I just went up like, yes.
It's like, is that what he's doing? Yeah, it is. All right, we'll have our predictions starting to go wrong on the other side. We've got a litany of news and notes. The Facebook feedback page is, needless to say, it's jumping up. There's a rumor going around on there that I'm not going to acknowledge just because. I don't know. Some people say it's confirmed, and frankly, I like surprises. So I'd rather not. And Lucas is feverishly going to the internet to find out.
No, I'm not going to the internet. I'm just checking something from. I got a text from. Apparently, shout out to my cousin Michelle, who's listening to the show with her boyfriend Steve and grandmom.
Oh, very nice. You've got loyal followers.
What can I say? I'm sort of a big deal. People know me.
Gonna sandbag the daylights out of that.
Oh, okay.
Dan from Chicago, in reference to my Bugs Bunny versus Adam Rose's bunny, he said WWE would do that at Mania. The bunny powers explode, based on the same clip.
Good on you there, Dan.
Very, very nicely done. All right, so a couple of, I guess we'll get this out of the way before we take care of the business here. So, favorite all-time Survivor Series team. I'd mentioned the All-Americans, a couple of people. Ross from the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. I guess he's more mentioning the match, or maybe it's a tie for both of his favorite teams. But Jerry Lawler's Royal Court versus the Doinks.
Wow.
I don't know. That I thought was WrestleCrap material. But okay, for those who don't remember, it was Doink with Little Clowns Dink, Wink, and Pink against Jerry Lawler and Little Kings Sleazy, Queasy, and Cheesy in a Survivor Series 4-on-4 mixed tag elimination match where only the full-size wrestlers could be in the ring at the same time, and then the little wrestlers would obviously have to be in the ring at the same time, but you couldn't have big versus little. And I'm doing my best to avoid inappropriate or politically incorrect terms. Am I doing an okay job with it? Lucas is floored by this description. And then, of course, Tim from Northeast Philly. He mentioned the main event of '87, as did Ron, who called in, but also Team DX 2006.
Wow.
That was what? Triple H, Shawn Michaels, the Hardys, and oh gosh, who was the fifth on that? No, nothing.
Wait, what for?
Team DX from 2006.
Oh yeah, it was DX and the Hardys.
And who was the fifth member? I'm drawing a blank. I'm sure somebody else is going to have it before I can pull it up. I'm sure. These are the things that I can so much to have rattling around in my brain. Oh well, we'll figure that out. We'll get to some other stuff on the other side. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 AM WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, November 22. On this date in 1984, the NWA held its Starrcade pay-per-view. In the main event, Ric Flair defeated Dusty Rhodes to retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 1990, the WWF held its Survivor Series pay-per-view. In the main event, Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, and Tito Santana defeated Ted DiBiase, Rick Martel, Hercules, Paul Roma, and the Warlord in an Ultimate Survivor Elimination Tag Team match. On this date in 1998, WCW held its World War III pay-per-view. In the main event, Diamond Dallas Page pinned Bret Hart to retain the WCW United States Championship. On this date in 2009, WWE held its Survivor Series pay-per-view. In the main event, John Cena defeated Triple H and Shawn Michaels in a triple threat match to retain the WWE Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, November 22.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon, Derry, and Lucas the intern here with you. in an unfunny or an unintentionally funny moment, we were trying to remember that Team DX 2006 Survivor Series team, and we knew it was the Hardys, we knew it was Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and I wasn't intentionally doing this, but of course the fifth member was that CM Punk guy. So, no, I wasn't doing it just to be a Richard and saying, oh, yeah, who was that guy? I don't remember who he... No, I legitimately couldn't remember, but it was a funny moment nonetheless. All right, also... So I was going to say, based on your comment, did you actually mean to say your favorite team was from '89, the 4x4s, or?
Yeah. Well, yes, that was my favorite team for because
OSW reasons.
Yeah,
yes.
Yes, but I wasn't doing that to be. I wasn't saying it's
okay.
Joseph Anthony.
Inside joke is inside. It's okay.
Joke. So my favorite team, though, was from 2001. It was the not just that team, but the match itself. That whole storyline was the reason it was my favorite, probably one of my favorites.
Very nice. Here's something interesting of note. The Survivor Series pre-show tomorrow featuring 2 returning wrestlers. WWE announcing that Bad News Barrett and Fandango will appear on the Survivor Series pre-show.
And I'm afraid he's got some bad news. It's literally what they said on the...
And it was also announced that on the pre-show panel, Paul Heyman.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, maybe we'll hear when his client, Brock Lesnar, will actually make an appearance.
We actually were, when we were at Tony Luke's on Saturday, I remember somebody brought up something that's been sort of resonating with me. I think I remember this little thing called a 30-day title defense rule. Where your butt was...
That was when it was wrestling. Now it's entertainment, so that rule's kind of
that's
swept under the rug.
Bull crap.
Not supposed to know about that.
Bull crap. Malarkey.
It's entertainment. You're not supposed to remember what happened 30 days ago.
Well, I'm sorry, Vince. If you have Alzheimer's, you should get that checked out.
This whole thing is embarrassing. It really is.
Yeah, it is embarrassing.
All right, moving on.
Darn rule in the contract.
Let's move on really quickly here, because we still have our predictions and we've got birthdays, and we've got about 3.5 minutes to do both of those. So, all right, Survivor Series predictions certain to go wrong. Let's go to the ladies first. Your favorite and mine. Traditional Survivor Series tag match: Alicia Fox, Natalya, Naomi, and Emma against Paige, Cameron, Summer Rae, and Layla.
I'm not favoriting this match. Well, I guess only one person, but I'm really favoriting the other Divas match. I'm gonna say Paige's team.
Paige's team?
Is it traditional Survivor Series elimination?
It is.
Nice.
Don't worry, we don't need to go who will be the survivors, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't.
I'm wondering for a later thing. I'll get to it later.
That's a good idea, because we only got 3 minutes left. All right, we'll stick with the ladies, then go to the Divas title. AJ Lee against Nikki Bella.
I'm actually going to say probably Nikki Bella.
Oh, okay. I was going to go AJ on that. All right. Well, I am going AJ on that, but that's surprising a little bit.
Yeah.
A little out of left field. Okay. Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt in a singles match.
This is a tough one. I'm going to say
Battle
Bray
of the Crazies.
Wyatt. Bray Wyatt. That's going to be a great match. It better be a great match at least.
I'm agreeing with you on that. We're both going Bray Wyatt. The tag titles: Fatal 4-Way, Goldust and Stardust against Los Matadores, against the Usos, and Miz and Mizdow.
I'd say Miz and Mizdow, actually.
I'm saying Gold Star retains. I don't know. I'm going to
switch mine to Gold and Stardust, actually, because I'm thinking about it now. If they lose and it's Miz and Mizdow, they set up a feud to... I'm waiting for the Miz and Sandow feud. I really am.
It'd be interesting. And then finally, the main event: Team Cena, John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Big Show, Eric Rowan, and Ryback against Team Authority, Seth Rollins, Kane, Rusev, Mark Henry, and Luke Harper. If Team Authority loses, Triple H and Steph ousted from Power. If Team Cena loses, Triple H will fire each member of Team Cena.
Do they really say that, or?
That was said on SmackDown this past, or last night, yes.
I'm really going to say Team Authority. But look, there's either two. I either say Team Authority wins, or I really want to see what happens if I want my prediction to be right, though, if Team Cena wins, but only if Orton comes in and screws it up for Team Authority. So that's the only way.
I'm picking Team Cena to win because, as I've said many a time on this show, you rarely bet against John Cena. Lol, Cena wins.
Yeah, true. But I'm saying, like...
But I like you're going against the grain. I'm not falling for this blatantly obvious setup.
Either the Authority wins, or I want my prediction to be right if Orton comes in and screws it up for Team Authority, and then Cena's team wins. That's the only way I want my prediction to be right also.
Okay, we'll go back to the tape over that because that's a lot to write down.
Yeah.
All right, birthdays. 1966, former WCW Cruiserweight Champion and former WWF, WCW, and TNA writer Ed Ferreira was born. The creative talent previously known in WCW as the Jim Ross mockery character Oklahoma turns 48 today. 1976, Jonathan LaRue was born. The former WCW Tag Team Champion known as Lash LaRue turns 38 today. And 1990, the Gobbledygooker was born. As noted in Today in Wrestling History, the Survivor Series occurred on this date in 1990, infamously notable for the hatching of the giant egg revealing the Gobbledygooker. Yeah, we're ending the show on the Gobbledygooker. How about that? Stay tuned. Nick Cataldi's next. We'll be back next week with a Survivor Series recap. We'll talk Monster Factory and a whole bunch more on Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB 11.